Welcome, everybody, to the Sick Ghost Committee podcast. I am not Jordan, as you may know, and as such, I will not forget to introduce everybody. It is the evening of Wednesday, December 20th. I am Pitt Girl, and alongside me, as usual, I have Commissioner Escalante and Beth, and on the ones and twos, Arthur. Commissioner, how you doing tonight?
Much better than the past few days. I anticipated going to the Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl, but let's just say some food did not agree with me, and it's been a nightmare for about 2 days. And at least I'm now able to just like walk around the house, and I was able to leave the house safely today. So I really wanted to go, but it kind of affected all of us in the house. So not fun. I didn't get to go. Jordan got to go to the bowl game. Lucky him. But I'm doing better. I am hydrating, and I'm just happy to be podcasting right now. I'll just say that.
Very good. Very good. Hydration is key. Beth, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I spent my afternoon and my evening setting up for a 3-hour elementary school concert extravaganza tomorrow.
Oh my God, that is
many different groups. So I would say that I am easily as cultured as Jordan in taking in the arts this evening.
For the listeners, Jordan could not be with us tonight because he is seeing Les Mis, as he is more cultured than all of the rest of us combined.
And tomorrow I will be somewhat Ms.
Maybe more Ms than he is.
That is 3-hour elementary school concert is so much clarinet squeaking. Like so much.
We're only letting them play 2 songs.
Okay, good.
Then the dancing drums are playing 2 songs. And then each grade has a song that they're going to present. It's a whole thing. And then I'm doing like a 9-song set. So,
whew.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I can't believe that this is my job.
All right. So, one important note before we get into bowl game recaps, which we did briefly touch on already, is that our food drive for our national champion, Iowa, for Community Crisis Services in Iowa City, Iowa City, right?
Yes, Iowa City, Iowa. Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. My brain sometimes makes me question the things that I know. But Community Crisis Service in Iowa City, folks, we have hit $10,000 for this agency. And we are not going to stop now.
Nope.
Fundraiser will open until December 26th, and we are shooting to hit $16.6 thousand in honor of Brian Ferentz's 16.6 points per game. So check our Twitter for information about how you too can help us breach the Ferentz line for a good cause. And if you donate more than $25, Commish has some swag for you.
Yes, it's 25 and above, so you just got to hit the Ferentz line. Just give you the 25 and above, and then you'll get some swag. Which, I've been mailing some like stickers, and we have some like koozies that are not available in our store. I've been having some issues with the post office because the koozies are too thick. They're too thick for the normal stamp. So I got probably about, I think, 30 of them kicked back to me to the P.O. box today, and they were like, they're too thick. They can't go through the normal envelope. It's just too much. I'm like, what?
Them thick stamps.
Them thick koozies. The good koozies. You're not getting the bad stuff. It'll keep your drink warm and keep your mountains blue or whatever you got to do. But yeah, they kicked it back. So then I had to buy it was like 40 extra cents. So like the stamp now is like 66 cents, I think, for the forever stamp. So then I had to add like 40 cents on top of that. And so they gave me these like school bus stamps that are only like worth 20 cents each. So I had to put 2 school buses on some of those. So if you get those from the committee, just let you know your envelopes were too thick with merchandise after you donated. So that's causing some delays. I'm going to have to buy more stamps now because of the thickness. And the Postal Service...
Your love for Iowa had too much junk in the trunk.
It did. The Postal Service was not down with the thickness.
Oh, boy.
I wish I could imitate that noise, but I can't do it. But everybody's still thinking that's right.
Ooh, ah, ah, ah.
But yeah, I got some of that rejected. I'm afraid more are coming back because I didn't do enough postage.
The prodigal koozie returns.
Yeah, there was one from somebody that I was trying to mail something to Finland for them.
Oh, God bless.
Oh my god.
And they're part of the patron. So I was just sending my gifts to some patrons too, throughout this mailing stuff. And I addressed it to myself and said it was from Finland. So I put the labels in the wrong spots. So that was a little delayed, but the postage is accurate there. So I again, this is the first time I've had to deal with like the postal service on this type of level. It's cool that I take my 6-year-old with me, and he loves to open the P.O. box. He's having a great time doing that since he's out of school. And I've just been doing so much stuff with labels, and I got to buy more stamps now. So I apologize if the stuff gets delayed. It's the holidays. It's madness. I don't know how to mail stuff apparently anymore.
Easy Post, if you're listening.
Oh, Easy Post.
This sounds like an opportunity for partnership. This could be a beautiful, beautiful partnership, Easy Post.
I do love that we're sitting here talking about international shipping, and Arthur is like head to toe in DHL.
Hey, listen, I saw the Ferrari movie tonight, and I wanted to wear Andretti Autosport stuff to the Ferrari movie. Shout out to the United States of America, and which is funny because actually Andretti just lost DHL as a sponsor.
Oh,
but I still have all the stuff, all the swag. I'm all decked out. So and DHL is moving over to Chip Ganassi Racing because they're a much better team. It's like the transfer portal. I mean, you think you've seen the transfer portal in college football. I mean, you got transfer portals all over the racing world. So
it's true.
I mean, to the point where especially in lower series, like the Xfinity series or the Truck series in NASCAR, like it's not uncommon for somebody to just be driving for different teams every week, and it's just like, yep, this week he's in this car, and next week he's in another car, and it's just like it's whatever,
I was thinking like sponsor transfer portal too, because you get those like random one-off sponsors, like that time that Dogecoin sponsored a car.
Oh yeah, no, it's always weird the way they pop around, and it's like, well, because sometimes it's just like, oh, like a one-off. I get that. It's like, okay, like you had a thing you wanted to promote it, or like you just wanted to test it out and see if it would like how well it would drive business to you or something. But like there are some where it's just like these companies just popping between different cars, and that's the one where it's like what's going on here? Like why does like Celsius need to be on like 3 different cars over like a bunch of different teams for different races?
Because
and that's Celsius, the beverage, not the temperature.
Yeah, or the cryptocurrency for that matter.
I think every car in NASCAR probably runs on Fahrenheit.
The upshot of this for me, though, is listeners, if you think bowl game sponsors are weird, start watching motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm telling. That's how I know all of these sponsors when they come to a bowl game and people are like, "What's this? What's Roof Claim?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, they were on that car for a while, and I just don't know what they are, but they were on that car. That's how much I can tell you. I mean."
Brand
we got
awareness.
Go bowling, man. They've been sponsoring the NASCAR race at Watkins Glen for a long time. So, it's I think if you're into college football, and like motorsports has a lot of overlap there. Like just in terms of it being among the more kind of grassroots sports in America, if you're into some of the things about college football are really duplicated in motorsports. And if you want to understand the people running motorsports and you understand boosters, you're good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True facts. Arthur speaks truth. While we are on the topic of brand awareness, a brand that I recently became familiar with, as I mentioned a few episodes ago, and had the opportunity to experience, is Famous Toastery. And the Famous Toastery Bowl was on Monday.
It was.
So
It's
We
very
got to talk
appropriate because
about it.
that's basically the only thing I could eat on Monday, if I could eat anything. Just plain white toast. I did look. I woke up like just I don't. I saw at one point ODU was up big, and I'm like in and out of like sleep, and all of a sudden I see Western Kentucky back in it, and I forced myself to fight through to watch the rest of this game because I was like, you will not defeat me, food poisoning. You you're not defeating me. I am watching the bowl season. Damn it.
This game was one of those like wonderful box score palindromes that makes me so happy. These were two teams that left these were two trains that left stations going in opposite directions to see where they met in the middle.
Very much so. I was, as many people were, I think this game kicked off at like 2 p.m. Eastern and on a Monday. And so, you know, people have day jobs and are supposed to be doing things. So I was not 100% paying attention to this game until well into the second half, but boy, am I glad that I started paying attention to this game. For those of you who were not able to watch it, Old Dominion went up 21-0 in the first quarter, and it ended up taking a 28-7 lead into halftime. Western Kentucky came all the way back, including 21 points in the fourth quarter to send it to overtime and won in overtime. Old Dominion missed, or not even missed, had two field goals blocked in two consecutive drives, one in the fourth quarter and one in overtime. This game was unhinged in the best way, in sort of the same way as like the first or second Bahamas Bowl, which is actually this bowl game.
Yes.
I just 10 out of 10. This is why bowl season exists. There were toast angels on the field after the game.
We always should have relocated the Bahamas to Charlotte, obviously.
It's where they belong.
I love Jason Kirk's tweet. It said this is the best famous Toastery bowl of all time.
True facts.
Perfect.
Yep.
This game was great. I mean, as much as I was able to get through and watch this, to go to OT, and then like ODU had two field goals like blocked, like by like heroic blocks. Like the kicker didn't do anything wrong. It was just like these one was blocked by an offensive lineman. Like Western Kentucky had an offensive lineman on the field goal block team, and he was the one that blocked it. And after he blocked the one field goal, he had to go right back out on the field because he's a lineman and block like normally, which is incredible. Then another one like knifed in OT, like blocked the like 23-yard field goal. They were able to block that one. And then Western Kentucky hits the field goal to win it in OT. Just the amount of toast that was on the field was incredible. Just bread everywhere. I mean, I want to know how many loaves of bread and like what were they doing to toast the bread? Like, were there like how many toasters did they have? How many loaves of bread? I mean, what was the darkening setting on? I need to know more details about the toast.
I'm envisioning, you know how when you stay in a hotel that has continental breakfast and they have the like bagel conveyor?
Yeah, the toast go around.
Yeah, but they've got an intern just like putting bread, just running the bread through the toast go round.
I think what they did was they invited Jesus. that was their bread strategy.
They toasted one piece of bread.
I mean,
and then they brought Jesus in.
Maybe the bread mascot was Jesus. The famous Toastery like bread mascot was Jesus. I'm glad Big Red didn't eat him.
The miracle of the toast.
We did get to see Big Red running the full field, like dusting the rest of the mascot. We got a lot of like Big Red acrobatic, like jumping really high when Western Kentucky tied the game. A lot of Big Red footage here, which is always a bonus for us. I know we have like Arctic Turn, one of our ODU fans, was at the game having a blast, and then he was not having a blast after that, which is always the downside of these. Like somebody's got to lose these games, but in this weird, improbable fashion, it kind of was a microcosm of ODU's season. Like everything was very close with them. it was ridiculous. I don't know why they were ranked so low in our poll. I guess not enough people saw ODU this year, but they were. I mean, just to get to a bowl game, they had to do it twice just to get the 6-6, and like a miraculous one to get the 6th win, and then have this to happen to them in the bowl game. I don't know, but it was an incredible game. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I mean the timeline was in a bunch of joy with just all the amount of toast. And I don't know what's going to happen with the famous Toastery sponsor. Maybe there'll be another bowl game, but the Bahamas Bowl needs to go back to the Bahamas.
I'm not opposed to the famous Toastery Bahamas Bowl.
Not at all. I believe this bowl was relocated because of renovations going on in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. So, as far as I know, the plan is to move it back next year.
Yes,
if the renovations have been completed. I mean,
yeah, that's always an if.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know how good the construction crew is in the Bahamas, and I don't even know. Like, do we have any like intel on the plans on how long it's supposed to take?
There's also a hurricane season between now and the
next
that
too.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's hope no hurricanes, please.
Yep.
So my favorite part of this bowl game, well, actually two things. One, just pertaining entirely to me, is that I went to the liquor store. I was like, you know what? I don't have a job right now, so I don't have obligations during the famous Toastery Bowl. I guess except for editing this podcast, the one that came out last time. But I went down and I was like, well, like I already have orange juice. I'll get a bottle of champagne and I'll have mimosas during the game. And then I saw on the very, very bottom shelf, right? Like somehow even below the Andre was an Andre branded pre-mixed mimosa drink. Like you don't open the bottle and pour in some orange juice and mix it. It's pre-mixed. This was pineapple flavored too, by the way. It was pineapple mimosa, Andre branded pineapple mimosa in a wine bottle, and it was like fizzy, but it had a twist off. Like there wasn't a cork, which that was one thing I was disappointed by. Was I feel like a big part of champagne why like it's so satisfying to uncork it, and this it's like a twist off.
Oh,
and
well, you think they could afford a cork?
The flip side though is that you can then just put the lid back on, because I guess they're thinking that people won't drink an entire bottle of pineapple mimosa drink by Andre in one sitting, but that was not the case for the famous Toastery Bowl, because this game went to overtime, gave me the time I needed to finish the bottle, and then hey, any production errors on last episode, that's why.
I am going to have to find the folks that make purchasing decisions for the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board and have a conference meeting with them.
Oh no, I'd love to talk to them because I have a lot of great ideas for things they got to bring in.
Yeah, why can't we get whip shots here? They have them in Maryland. Couple other things about this game that I would like to highlight before we move on. Western Kentucky fumbled and lost the ball 5 times in this game and still won, one of which was in the fourth quarter, and I thought they were done after that happened. They were not done. We also got some officiating shenanigans late in the fourth quarter, including unsportsmanlike conduct, sideline interference, offensive coordinator for the defense, and we were all like, what? And then the broadcast showed the clip, and the offensive coordinator was not even like out in the white space where he's not supposed to be. He was just standing on the sideline, and the ref was running backwards and tripped over him.
Oh man! I'm like half in and out of this, so I'm like just remembering when you're talking about it, I was like, he did not backpedal straight at all. He must have been drunk on those pineapple mimosas. Jesus Christ. Had some of those.
Yeah, we also got this gem. We're having discussion on the field regarding the clock.
That's right.
The ref falling over, or backpedaling into the coach. That reaction, like, it kind of reminds me of when a cat has like fallen or done something embarrassing where it's like, well, this has to be a penalty now because that just didn't happen.
This is clearly not my own fault. You did this.
I hate you, chair.
So my other favorite thing about the famous Toastery Bowl was that yes, they were advertising their restaurants and trying to get people to come into their restaurants, but they were also advertising franchising opportunities. And I tried to look at the famous Toastery franchising website during the game, and like it was down. The bowl game spurred so much interest in becoming a famous Toastery franchisee that you couldn't do it. The website was down. The website is back up now, so I've been looking at their website. The franchising website has a button on it that says apply to be famous, which I think means apply to open a famous toastery. In terms of financial information, it says, quote, the total investment to open a famous toastery franchise ranges from $588,000 to $1,011,500. The franchise fee is $50,000 unless you're in the military, in which case it's only $25,000. To qualify for ownership, you need a net worth of at least $500,000 and minimum liquid capital of $250,000. So if you are listening out there and you meet those requirements, you can open a famous toastery. Although you do have to be in certain areas. So right now they have locations in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. And they're about to open their first Florida location, which is, of course, going to be in Jacksonville.
Makes sense.
The other thing that could happen, though, listener, is that if you, the listener, kindly donate sufficiently to our Patreon, we, the sickos, could franchise a famous toastery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so here are the steps according to the website. It says step 1, apply to own. Step 2, speak with the famous team to see if you're a fit. Step 3, complete franchise application. Step 4, meet the famous team at audition day. So you have to audition to run a famous toastery. Step 5, sign the franchise agreement. And step 6, get ready to open. So yeah, we just need the capital. And once we have the capital, we can do that.
Looking at some other franchises, it looks like Famous Toastery is closest in terms of the initial capital investment to Dunkin' Donuts, which can be obtained for just a little cheaper on the cheap side, but also can range just a little bit higher. Everything else seems to be more above and below, but Famous Roastery appears to be kind of a side grade from Dunkin' from a financial standpoint.
Interesting. Having been in a famous toastery, it is like a sort of sit-down place, so that's a little. I feel like it should be more expensive than a Dunkin', but I also know nothing about business. So
also Taco Bell, sneaky expensive.
I'm sure Taco Bell's expensive because there's so many of them that like there's not really like free territory. So if you want to franchise a new Taco Bell, like you got to really be about it.
It looks like on the high end. From what I'm seeing here, your big spenders are Taco Bell at the high end is $3.4 million, Popeyes is $3.5 million, and then this also has some fitness places in. So Planet Fitness will set you back $4.6 if you're unlucky enough to be in the high end of franchisees, which I assume were things like, "Oops, we're gonna have to build a new distribution center for you."
What does Planet Fitness have to distribute? So many questions.
I think with Planet Fitness, it's just such a big footprint. I mean, you need a
That's
big
true.
space.
Anyway, this has been Business Corner with the Sickos Committee.
I have people that reach out to me on LinkedIn and they'll be like, "Hey, like, are you interested in franchising?" Like, they don't pitch like any specific place. They're like, "Hey, are you interested in just franchising? Maybe just like as a concept or something?" And I'm always like, like, no, I don't have capital. Like, I don't. The reason I'm like on LinkedIn is to like find a real job and then earn money and have actual money to spend on things. So no, I'm not interested in franchising. But there's a lot of people that'll reach out, just like
that's fascinating. That's fascinating. The only LinkedIn DMs I ever get are like, "Hey, do you want to go to our online grad school for Thing Redacted?" No, no, I do not want to go
Oh,
to online grad school at IU or
I
wherever. Thank
get
you.
those things too, but I also get a lot of I get the most random stuff, and then like every so often it'll be one where it's like, oh, that's a real employer.
With that, we are going to move forward in linear time, which regardless was a mistake, to Tuesday and discuss the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, from which Jordan would have reported back to us, but his calendar, again, linear time being a mistake, confused him, and he thought he was going to be here, but he is at Les Mis. So
I guess it's too late for us to start sending out a rumor that Jordan was kidnapped at the Frisco Bowl, and we're still looking for reports of where he might be.
do let us know if the last time that you saw Jordan was at the Frisco Bowl.
Giving
Just
out
'cause we wanna
stickers
know.
in 113, section 113. We have not seen Jordan since section 113. We're still getting likes on that tweet. It was like, yeah, Sicko's in Frisco. And I'm like, who is liking this still? Like, that
I'm
was
imagining
yesterday.
somebody who's like
That was
who
yesterday.
goes who like walks the track or something at the Frisco Bowl. Like, oh, Jordan's here. I'll go find him.
Some say that he is still standing in section 113 to this very day.
I don't think I've ever seen Les Mis at all. It seems
I
familiar.
haven't either.
I don't
It's
know.
a real knee slapper.
It seems like it's a lot of fun. No, thank you. It's a knee slapper.
So
No.
anyway, Frisco Bowl.
Yeah, I was actually feeling better. There was a part of the day where in my head, I'm like, I get up, it's like 9 a.m. I was planning on driving 5 hours from San Antonio up to Frisco, leaving at about 10, get there about 3, hang out with Jordan and his kiddo, along with my kiddo, and then do that. So like 10 hits, and I'm like, there's no way I can do this at all. I'm like, man, I can't do this. And then I'm still like fighting through whatever food. I don't want to say the name of the restaurant because, hey, they may sponsor us one day. There's prominent athletes associated with a Louisiana school. They bought a lot of Jello shots in Omaha, so yeah, more hints. But I just I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out, and then so like the day keeps ticking and ticking and ticking, and then like it hits like 2. I'm like, if I leave at 2, and I was like, I was like, let me go get the mail, and we have one of those cluster mailboxes, which is like maybe like 2 houses down. And let me go see how I feel after I get the mail and see if I could drive like 5 hours. I couldn't even make it to the mailbox without like stopping twice. So it's like, no, there's no way I'm driving 5 hours with my 6-year-old in the back of the car. I was just like, not happening. So I basically had to end it. And I felt really bad for him. So I bought some tickets to go see a basketball game tomorrow night. Also, as an early Christmas present, I let him have Mario Kart 8. So, yeah, he's been all over that. So, to make me not feel completely horrible for not being able to go, but he was down, like just like basically he was like 12 hours ahead of me. So like he got sick 12 hours ahead of me. So it was just, if I had another 12 hours, I would have been there. Yeah, this game was not necessarily, it was very chippy. It was a lot of like fights, and then like Frank Harris couldn't play because he had like a broken chip on his shoulder, or like a shoulder chip in his bone or something. I'm like, oh, ouch. Well, that wasn't good. UTSA went down 14-0. I'm like, oh no. So I'm trying to stay up with the kiddo to watch the game because he wanted to watch, and so he was thrilled to watch. And then like they made it 14-7, and then 14-14, and then UTSA just started pulling away, which was really great. I'm glad UTSA was able to get their first bowl win. Once Marshall got their 14, that was pretty much all they would do on offense. They just could not finish a drive at all. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to their 14 points and then they were done, which I respect.
Yeah, they got 3 more, and then it was just like, no, they're not doing anything else. I'm definitely glad that UTSA got that first bowl win. My favorite quote from the 8 gallons of cold brew that was dumped on Jeff Trailer, which was amazing. They did the coffee dump, so I'm so happy with that. Jeff Trailer says on the celebratory coffee bath, I'll always remember that coffee running down my crack.
A poet, truly.
Amazing.
I volunteer to get coffee dunked. Do it to me. I want it. Coffee dunk me.
Are you gonna like turn it around and face it and like take some and like drink some of it? Or you just
it's gonna look like the end of Shawshank Redemption.
The Shawshank. Pitt Girl Dufresne swam through 8 gallons of cold brew to get on the podcast.
I would.
This game was, it seemed like there was going to be a fight. And it was just a matter of time. And I don't know what was going on in Frisco, but they wanted to fight. But UTSA was able to pull it out with a backup quarterback, Josh McCown's son versus Chad Pennington's son. So just making Beth and I feel ancient, which is great.
Yeah, I heard people on social media calling this the Nepo Baby Bowl.
Oh, man. Yeah, for like a coffee place and Nepo babies being the QBs, that kind of works out. They're all having their lattes, just being quarterbacks of FBS teams. It seems right. They got their fancy Apple Watches on too. Whatever. I just turned into like old man guy here.
Turning into old man guy?
Oh, but like saying it out loud.
That you have not already been old man guy?
Verbalizing it. I'm already old. It doesn't matter. I'm ancient. It's fine. Josh McCown's probably my age.
Pennington play for Marshall. I went to those games.
I know of Chad Pennington. I must admit that I had not ever heard of the other guy.
McCown was like a backup for like 13 NFL teams.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous.
That would explain why I had not heard of him.
He was the ultimate journeyman.
Yeah. He was like his own private lending library.
Yeah, I'm not super I don't really follow the NFL at all, but I know of McCown because he was someone that people would bring up when people were talking about Colin Kaepernick, comparing him unfavorably to Colin Kaepernick is like, wait, like a team's gonna have him be the starting quarterback when Colin Kaepernick's available, type thing. But I will admit that like both of those names are like, oh yeah, like I've heard that name before, but yeah, I don't remember either of them playing.
Chad Pennington did his NFL work for the Jets, if I recall correctly.
Yep, and Dolphins. Yep. And then McCown was a backup for the Saints for like a year, I think. It seems about right. You could just say any NFL team. Done.
Okay. So we are going to jump into some housekeeping briefly because I neglected to talk about it. But given that there are holidays, we are not recording on Christmas Eve. We talked about that already. But reminder for you, the listener, that we are not recording on Christmas Eve. And I say this in part because we have a whole big stack of bowl games to at least briefly discuss between now and the next time we record.
Yeah, we
can. On maybe Tuesday the 26th?
Yeah, we think we may record on the 26th. Jordan is going to release 2 of the Commish's Corners to the main feed. So from the Commish's Corner, if you're a patron, you may already have listened to it or not. But you're probably going to get a new episode next week at some point if Jordan can edit it. We just recorded that before this one. Should be fun. Fun in the sun, so to speak. So really... should have some stuff to listen to if you need to like walk and get out of your house and get away from the family and just walk around and just listen to a podcast while you're either outside freezing or just running around doing some errands or whatever. We should have some material for you to listen to. We're going to release 2 Patreon pods. I believe the one there's 2 that we're going to release. They're probably our longer ones. to give you a little bit better. And then we're going to record this one. We should get this one out, I'd say maybe the 21st or 22nd, depending on Arthur's schedule. 22nd at the latest. We may record on the 26th, if not the 27th, yes, and then get the podcast out on the 29th. So I
If
will
we record on the 27th, you're going to get me coming in hot from the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Well,
Hell yeah.
that may be close. So we again.
Yeah.
I have the Alamo Bowl on the 28th, so I wouldn't be able to do it then either. So the schedule's going to get kind of crazy.
I like that we're just planning this live on
Let's
the
do it.
episode.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind
Welcome
of
to
what
our
we've been
production
doing.
meeting.
As always, welcome to the production meeting.
Welcome to the production meeting. So, just keep in mind, we're going to have some stuff coming out for you. We're going to have some more bowl previews coming with our Substack. I had somebody email us about the Sickos Committee Store, which you could just type in Sickos Committee Store on Google. It'll be like the first thing you pop up. Somebody's like, how fast do you ship? I was like, there is no way in hell. Like today, like there's no way in hell we're getting you something before Christmas. Just like, it's not happening. And they were like, okay, thank you. And they still bought something. So I was like, perfect. Like, just, if you listen to this on the 22nd, just, again, hey, I bought you something. I wish we had digital gift cards, but we don't.
Just take a picture of your shopping cart and be
Done.
like, here you go.
This is what
It's
we got
coming.
you. It's coming.
Take a picture, print it out, put it in a box,
Yes.
wrap the box.
I mean, I want to say there's like some versions of Christianity where like they don't do the presents till like later, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just convert.
Yeah. I mean, just do that.
You too can be Russian Orthodox or observe Three Kings Day.
Is that like,
Or just a member of my family because all of our holidays come unstuck in time. We're celebrating on New Year's Eve.
done?
Something
You can get it by then.
linear time.
That's right. We do want to give a shout out to the Message Board Geniuses podcast. Jordan, he went on their podcast, but he couldn't come tonight on this podcast because, he had to be Les Mis man. But no, he was on their most recent episode. He got to get interviewed by the Message Board Geniuses, which was a lot of fun. And apparently they bleep cuss words. And Jordan Jordan was lighting up the bleep meter. I'm just gonna say that. He was just going to town. And I was like, he just started going off. I was loving it. It was a lot of fun.
We get used to a certain standard of living around here, and then you can't take us anywhere.
No, you can't take us anywhere. It was fun. He was great on it.
To self, do not guest on Message Board Geniuses for the sake of their editor.
It was a lot of bleeps. And he caused a whole bunch of other bleeps. So we have a Sickos YouTube and Instagram. Please follow and subscribe to both. I think you only can subscribe to like the YouTube, but I noticed the other day our YouTube has 420 subscribers.
Hey.
So that's nice. But we don't have
the weed number.
the weed number. That's right. I want to give a shout out for our Substack, which I'm trying to get some more bowl previews out where we do the fun things about the bowls, where we tell you what's the closest fast food restaurant to the bowl stadium, along with which school is closer to a bowling alley. And some are duck pin or candle pin or a whole bunch of other stuff. And people fight in the comments on Substack. They're like, there's no way this one's closer. I'm like, oh, who's fighting over this stuff? But it's just what Google Maps tells us, all right? We're not taking account any of your shortcuts. It's a lot of fun. So, and then finally, again, Home Field Apparel, they have gift cards. So if you need like some emergency gift, like, oh my God, I forgot to get my dad something. Or, oh my God, my sister needs some awesome collegiate apparel, but I forgot to do something. You can buy an e-gift card, which is amazing for that. You can do that. First-time customers, use the code yes, ha 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 ha, yes. I think I messed that up. It's 3 ha's.
I think that was 4 ha's. The discount code is 3 ha's.
It's 3 ha's. It's 15% off for a first-time customer. I don't think it works on a gift card, but try it.
There's only one way to find out.
No, the worst they can say is no, you can't use that. But that'd be cool if you get $100 for like $15. $15 off that. But give it a shout out, and we appreciate their sponsorship. Apparently, we won something from them, which was cool. So we're going to be getting some more. We're getting some more stuff from them. So let's continue on with, I guess, a little brief bowl preview. We've already went over these in our bowl bonanza, but let's just go over the ones that are coming up tomorrow. Pit Girl, what do we got?
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I will.
Sorry.
I will pretend to be Jordan again.
Yes.
Yes, tomorrow, Thursday, December 21st, we have the Boca Raton Bowl, USF versus Syracuse, 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN for your viewing enjoyment.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, we've got the Gasparilla Bowl,
Gasparilla.
Georgia Tech versus UCF, 5:30, which is an interesting kick time, also on ESPN.
5:30?
Saturday, we've got a 5:30.
That's weird as hell.
Yeah, that's such a weird. Like it's 6:30 local, and it's a Friday, which is such a weird time for a game. Like I don't know. Does ESPN have? I'm gonna look up the ESPN schedule. Maybe they have something after this.
I mean, there's like basketball
game
coming up. I don't know.
Oh, that also reminds me. Forgot to talk about this because there was so much other stuff to talk about with the famous Toastery Bowl. The last like overtime for that game got kicked to ESPN too because they had to show 2 hours of pregame for Monday Night Football.
That's right. Can't stop the pregame. Yeah, I had trouble like flipping on Hulu. I was like, "Where's ESPN 2?" Because I was like, "Whatever." Like, I can't go over here. So I'm trying to find the game. I'm like, "Please don't let me miss anything of this one."
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just looked up why the game starts at 6:30 local.
And
so at 10 p.m. on ESPN, big reunion. Jordan Poole is making his return to San Francisco.
Oh my god.
Which I guess, judging by your reactions, that doesn't mean anything to most of you, but
it means nothing to me.
It is the most sicko team in the NBA, the Washington Wizards.
I would debate that. They were not the most sickos team in our poll.
Okay.
Thanks to another team that's doing simply wondrous things.
Was the Pistons?
But no, yes, that's what I was referencing. But so Jordan Poole is no longer on the Warriors after last season. Draymond Green punched him, and it was like a big like his teammate Draymond Green punched him. It was a big thing.
Punched him so hard he punched him right off the team.
Yeah, he's no longer on the team. They traded him, and this is going to be his first game back at what is it? The Chase Center is their arena.
Yes,
I don't know. I know it's a completely different arena on the other side of the bay, but I'm one of those people that just like calls everything like the old name, even if it's not the same arena. Like I still just want to say Oracle. But
yeah, it's almost like you're from Pittsburgh.
That's the reason that the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl is starting at 6:30 local, is so that we can get the Warriors Wizards. Both of those teams, I think, are like not playoff teams if the playoffs started today.
And fortunately, we're going to get to see exactly how Draymond deals with having Jordan Poole back, because they'll both certainly be playing.
No, they won't, because Draymond Green is suspended indefinitely right now for like punching
other people.
Yeah, so
Pitt Girl's face.
I don't know. Like
she's like, I cannot stand the NBA already.
No,
like her face is like, this is ridiculous.
NBA.
I don't watch the NBA, but like the one thing I know about the NBA is that Draymond Green is an asshole, and like I hated him since he kicked Steven Adams in the balls, and that was like 5 years ago, and they're still letting him do this shit.
That was not 5 years ago. That was 2016. That was over 7 years ago.
Don't remind me that we're getting old, Arthur. I remember talking about this like on pick and roll. Like
yeah, no, I remember it too. The thing about the NBA though that you have to remember is like they set the whole schedule at the beginning of the year, and along with that they set like the TV schedule, and they don't really flex things. Like they can flex a little bit, but they won't like move games around or anything. So a lot of times you will have a whole season of a team that people thought was going to be good and is not, right? You will also have like, if a team suddenly gets good, it takes a year for the NBA to catch up and put them on national TV, right? Like the Kings broke through last season, but they didn't play on national TV like ever because they were still the Kings going in. And like now this year that they were good last year, they can finally get the game. But yeah, we're getting Warriors Wizards Friday night. So get hype.
That's what the people crave,
That's what they do.
apparently.
They don't crave Gasparia.
So yeah, so that's the Gasparilla Bowl.
That's right.
So that's the Gasparilla Bowl. Yes.
Right.
Moving on to Saturday, we do have a pretty full slate. I like that. I mean, I guess it happens during every bowl season, but like, I like that it has fallen in a way where Saturday is not a holiday, and so you get a pretty full bowl slate on Saturdays. So on Saturday, we have the Birmingham Bowl, Duke versus Troy, 11 a.m. on ABC. The Camellia Bowl, Arkansas State, Northern Illinois, also 11 a.m., ESPN. Armed Forces Bowl, 2:30 p.m., Air Force versus James Madison on ABC. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl,
Yes.
Georgia State versus Utah State, 2:30, ESPN.
Nice.
68 Ventures Bowl, Eastern Michigan versus South Alabama on ESPN. The Las Vegas Bowl, ABC. Northwestern versus Utah, 6:30 Central. And we get a bowl season Hawaii test. The Hawaii Bowl is Coastal Carolina versus San Jose State, 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. For those of you who would like to attempt to pass the last Hawaii test of the season.
There's been a couple of things about these bowl games coming up. I think there was like a picture with like the shirtless coach of Coastal Carolina,
Yes.
with like the
Tim Beck
shirtless with the Coastal Carolina cheerleaders and the mascot wearing Crocs, by the way.
And the cheerleaders, dear
too,
listener,
yes,
are all wearing teal bikinis.
I mean, you know, they got to wear teal bikinis. Apparently this didn't go over well.
Imagine that.
You know, an odd choice, but it seemed like it was like a calendar shoot. Very calendar shooty. Like,
that does not make it better.
I know. I'm not saying it was. I'm saying it to make it better, but it was just like the Hawaiian tropic, Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
It is kind of funny to me to see Coastal Carolina like actually at a beach, right? Because if you've never been to their campus, like it is near Myrtle Beach. Like if you go there, you can get to the beach very easily, but it's not like on the beach, right? Like I think the way that like people try to sell like the Myrtle Beach Bowl or even just think about the university, like it's not you're not on the beach, you're an Uber ride away from the beach. Which like don't get me wrong, still great, but like you're not right there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everywhere is an Uber ride away from the beach as long as you tip well enough.
It's true.
Very true. Shout out to the coach of San Jose State wearing the Colt Brennan jersey. Just on another note, that he's the cousin of Colt Brennan. So rest in peace, Colt. That was a very nice touch to be heading out there. That's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait to stay up for that one. Can one of you look up the payout for the Las Vegas Bowl? For the payout for that, if you could look it up, it should just be on the Wikipedia.
Whoa. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
no, that's not this year.
Sickos Committee Googles things.
I'm seeing that last year it was 2.9 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so like three. It's I've seen three and a half.
I see 2.9 million for this year from FanBuzz.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like a $3 million bowl to go to the Las Vegas Bowl. You remember when this bowl game was like in Sam Boyd and you barely get anything? Now they're trying to like come up in the world, which is, I mean, you know, they're playing in the giant Roomba. You know,
I mean, it worked for the Peach Bowl.
So they're trying to pull a come up on us. So it's working. I think it is. They got that fancy glittery trophy too.
After Saturday, we do have a few, and well, after Saturday we have holidays. And listeners, we hope you have a lovely holiday season. But on Tuesday, we get back to football. Tuesday, December 26th at 1 p.m., we've got the Quick Lane Bowl. That is Bowling Green in Minnesota on ESPN. At 4:30, we have the First Responder Bowl, Rice versus Texas State. And at 8 p.m., we have the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas versus UNLV, all on ESPN, our benevolent football overlords during bowl season and also the rest of the time. Probably not that benevolent, honestly. ESPN, if you heard me say that, you didn't hear me say that. Please sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us, ESPN. We'll sell out, whatever. Cozy up to us, and other people will hate that. Well, they ruin the sport, and then you cozy up to the Sickos committee, right? No.
Yeah. So we'll have people at the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yep.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, we had them last year for the Bowling Green New Mexico State Bowl game, which was amazing. It was a great game. I think it was 24-19. New Mexico State held on to win that one. The favorite thing here is that like Minnesota's having to pay a third stringer to be the quarterback for this game, allegedly. And PJ Fleck has had to deny this, which is
hey, you know what, kid? Get your bag.
I mean, get your bag.
Get your bag.
Allegedly, it was $30,000. I don't know how much it is, if it's more or less or whatever. But I mean, there's no proof. It's just a rumor. But I have no idea. It's absolutely amazing. And then Bowling Green beat them last year, so this is going to be a little bit of 7-5 versus 5-7. Should be a fun game. MAC, Big Ten, and Minnesota apparently is still favored to win this game. Interesting.
So, I mean, I feel like $30,000 is a bargain for being the starting quarterback in this bowl game, because doing some Googling, the payout for this bowl game appears to be $2 million. So, $30,000, not that much money.
Minnesota, as of right now, is still a 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah, 3.5 point favorite. I mean, I kind of want, I feel bad Bowling Green had to lose in New Mexico State last year in this bowl game, but they showed out to this bowl game because it's really only 80 miles away.
Oh yeah, no, this is like
really close.
It's the New Orleans Bowl of the North.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, it's. I mean, honestly, I will say this: I've been to this bowl game before as a fan. It's a solid experience, and if you stay Detroit, like they have some nice hotel casinos downtown. You can stay in one of those. When I was going to the Quick Lane Bowl, it was not that expensive. I think December 26th probably isn't peak time for them. And I'd stay in a really like a hotel that has all the amenities. The stadium is right downtown. You can get around pretty easily. You can ride the People Mover, which is great. I love the People Mover because it doesn't take cash or card. There's like a kiosk, and then you have to buy a coin, and then the coin it made me feel like I was in John Wick. Like I was just like one coin, heavy coin, just plunk, and I can ride the People Mover. But I fully endorse. Like if your team is going to this bowl game, either you're a MAC team or your team probably didn't have a great season. But I would endorse going to this bowl game anyway, because like you can have a pretty good time, and it's not that expensive relative to some other places you would go to have a pretty good time.
And you got to watch Mike Glass punch a ref.
True.
It was pretty great.
That I did.
And it's indoors, so you don't really have to worry about the weather during the game. I'll say that. Outside, I can't, hop on the People Mover as fast as possible.
Yeah, it was. I think honestly, the funniest memory I had from that game was getting ready to go inside, and I think like in terms of like the line of people getting in or waiting to then get in the line to go in, I think that was like the most vape clouds I've ever seen in one spot. Like it was kind of forming like a vape cloud volt. This was in 2019, which feels like maybe like peak vaping. But like that was just my memory of the Quick Lane Bowl.
I'm sorry, I'm just still thinking you didn't even finish saying Vape Cloud Voltron. And it's just thank you for that mental image. I needed that. Jordan, if you're listening, add Vape Cloud Voltron to the vision board, please. All right, folks. Well, those are the bowls that we've already talked about, that we had to talk about again, so you know what time they're on. But now it is time for Sicko's Bowl Bonanza, when we have the spinny wheels, but we don't have the spinny wheels. We have a random number generator and list because Jordan has the spinny wheels in his possession.
Jordan took the spinny wheels with him to Les Mis.
Yeah. So to those of you who like the clicky noises from the spinny wheels, we're sorry. We are again bereft of the spinny wheel clicky noise.
Can we do like a clicky noise like spinning wheel anyway? I don't know. I think I have like a spinning wheel.
Beth, you're excellent at Foley.
Oh, thank you.
I have no idea where it is. No, I don't have it. Whatever.
It's my brother's scary spider sound.
Scary spider, clicky wheel. Who can know?
Unknowable, I would say.
All right. So if you haven't listened to the rest of our podcast, and it's your first
Every podcast is someone's first.
That's right. So let's do the rules here. It is the Sickos Bowl Bonanza. We preview the bowl game, and then the fun begins. Each bowl game typically has 4 things associated with it: a bowl sponsor, a bowl name, a city and location, and then a stadium they will play the bowl game in. As a committee, we get to choose to randomly spin for a new sponsor, bowl name, city, stadium, or keep the same. For bowl games without a sponsor, we will automatically choose a sponsor. For bowl games whose sponsor is the name of the game, like the Duke's Mail Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, we will either get to add another sponsor or bowl name. So that's how it goes. I don't know where the spinning wheel is. I don't know if I can find like the spinning wheel here. Sound?
We have Beth for spinning wheel sound purposes.
Okay, sure, why not? The picker wheel. I found the thing. Do I need to...
It is in fact picker wheel.
Picker wheel. Done. I can do the spin. I don't know how to share the noise though.
You might want to change the time. 18 seconds of picker wheel.
18 seconds of picker wheel?
I beg you to not give us 18 seconds of picker wheel.
Okay, let me see if I can even share this. Because I couldn't do that before.
That's true. It did not work. Subscribe to the Patreon and listen to Commish's Corner. You'll probably get to hear us talk about how the screen share doesn't work.
No, it's making me do the thing again. Like it just like gives me the option of like it says entire screen. And I'm like,
it's fine. We can just play the random number generator game.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. All right, folks. So we are starting out on December 29th, which is Thursday? Friday?
I think it's Thursday.
I don't know.
All days between Christmas and
Friday.
New Year's are unknowable.
It's allegedly a Friday.
Allegedly Friday.
Yeah.
Sure. It's a day.
Thursday.
Yeah. Liberty Bowl, Memphis versus Iowa State on 12/29 at 2:30 p.m. on ESPN. And Liberty Bowl is still sponsored by AutoZone?
Yes.
Yes.
Get in the zone. AutoZone. Love that jingle.
I love the commercials that they had for their batteries. Like the Duralast batteries. Like built to last, Duralast. The hotter the hot. The colder the cold. It's just really stupid battery. So shout out to my friend Andrew. We got stranded and he had a dead battery. And so the whole time we were trying to get a ride to AutoZone. This is before like Uber or whatever. And we just kept repeating the hotter the hot, the colder the cold to each other to keep ourselves sane. And so every time I think about AutoZone, I think about that instance in his I think it was his Ford Expedition that the battery died. So it was great.
Okay.
There's a lot about this game. It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. How do we feel about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in the Liberty Bowl?
So Memphis gets a home game?
I guess.
Yeah, they're in the Liberty Bowl and they play in the Liberty Bowl. This is just like South Alabama.
Is Memphis the home team?
No, I think they're the away team, technically.
It looks like they're the away team.
Technically. But they got a home game. But it's weird that there's 2 schools this year that I'm aware of that are playing in their home stadium in a bowl game, which is a lot of fun. And Memphis is another one of these. I don't know how Iowa State fans. I mean, Liberty Bowls is pretty good after their rough start this year, and then all the gambling stuff that they had going on with their and then it seems like they've gotten some things together, but like you add Memphis and the Liberty Bowl and Iowa State, and I mean, I have a big recipe for like sickoness here. Like this is going to be powered by the Bass Pro Pyramid. I mean, last year I don't think it's going to like touch the 3OT like Kansas, Arkansas marathon that we had. Who knows? It may. But
we can only hope to be so lucky and to have a random fan stand up and block the view of the touchdown at the end.
They probably will. It'll be great because the sight lines, they're still undergoing renovations there. Let's just hope they have working bathrooms because they did not last year. They had a bunch of porta potties.
We can only hope.
So do we, it sounds like we like AutoZone. And do we want to have Memphis keep the home game? Do we want to send them somewhere? Do we want to have them get a different stadium? Do we want to rename the bowl game?
I think we like the stadium. We definitely want to move it, I think. I mean, so I like Memphis, like, as a concept, like, city-wise. I mean, with the pyramid
conceptual
and everything.
Memphis.
But
there is another Memphis, just in case.
There is, yes. But it feels like kind of a cop-out having Memphis playing basically a home game. So we can move the location.
Okay.
I kind of want to, can we just like, instead of have the AutoZone, can we just have it sponsored by the Duralast batteries?
Sure.
I'm fine with that.
So like Duralast batteries. Liberty Bowl? I mean, do we want to, because they stole the Liberty Bowl from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I kind of like that the Liberty Bowl is Liberty Bowl despite the fact that they moved it to Memphis.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the Duralast Liberty Bowl in the Liberty Bowl
City.
All right.
In a new city.
95.
Number 95 is Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Perfect.
Give me Liberty or I'm leaving.
Give it the Liberty Bowl in Toronto. It's perfect.
Yep.
The Duralast batteries.
The Duralast batteries.
Ready for that cold Canadian weather.
That's right. The colder the cold. I wish we could play that video because it's stuck in my head now. I mean, I can't play anything. I don't know why it won't let me share tabs. It's so bad.
All right. Up next, we have the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. This is Mizzou versus Ohio State at 7 p.m. Central Time on 12/29 on ESPN.
Mizzou, you deserved better than this.
Yeah. Mizzou, I'm sorry. Like, I think you can potentially do the thing, but also Ohio State's so mad right now. They're so mad. They're all so mad.
Are they?
I mean, they're mad about Michigan.
Is Ohio State really that mad? I mean, I feel like they're just kind of like resigned.
My family has a good amount of Ohio State in it right now, and they're pretty mad.
They want to fire Ryan Day, which is like objectively fucking stupid. So
no, I know, but that's also like a kind of manic depression thing versus just being real mad. I honestly, like, if you had told me even like 5 years ago that Ohio State's starting quarterback was transferring to Syracuse, I would assume it was like one of those, you know how like if you're a sicko like me that plays sports video games, you start like simming forward and then you get some like real random thing like, wait, LeBron's on the Magic now? Like he just signed there? Like what? And I feel like I'd like Ohio State starting quarterback transferring to Syracuse is one of those things.
Yeah, I think that's fair, honestly. Commish, we can't hear it. I'm sorry. Listener, Commish is attempting to share the Duralast ad with us, but there is no audio.
He's just watching it for himself just so that he can be freed from this terrible curse.
That's fair. It's very fair.
You can try.
I've been sent a link. I will try.
It's just like the beginning 7 seconds of it, and it lives in our heads forever. So we would like to poison everybody else.
There's a little button that says also share tab audio. Did you click the button?
Where does that say that?
It popped up at the bottom for me.
The hotter the hot. The colder the cold. The greater the demand. The more you need Duralast.
Yes.
Hotter the
So-
hot, and it's a Chevy Blazer. The colder the cold, it's the coldest Dodge Neon.
It's such an old ad. It's so ridiculous.
It is.
The hotter
90s
the
ass
hot.
ad.
No matter how much is pulling on this battery. Oh, look, a truck with a light bar.
Yeah.
Truck.
Had KC lights.
It sounds like we've decided that Duralast also sponsors the Cotton Bowl. Is that what I'm hearing here?
It's
It's
built
going to sponsor all of our remaining bowl games.
it's our last batteries. It was Goodyear Cotton. No, I need a new sponsor. We can keep the name Cotton, I guess. Are we okay with Cotton?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I would like to move it out of Jerry World, though.
Yeah, definitely out of Jerry World.
Jerry World should be reserved for Arkansas and Texas A&M.
Only.
As God intended.
I wish Jerry World had to have North Texas versus UTSA in it.
All right, spinning for stadium 27.
Number 27 is College Stadium.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's all it says.
That sounds like someone couldn't get the rights to a real stadium.
It's
That sounds perfect for a bowl game.
Try,
Are we keeping it in Arlington?
try to
And are we
try to-
keeping Goodyear?
You want me to roll it again?
Yeah, roll it again. See if we get a actual name stadium instead of just College Stadium.
47.
47. Horace Jones Field.
Oh,
The
Google
fun
it.
thing about
That
having
is
someone...
Mitsu Stadium.
Oh,
Perfect.
right. There
Ford
we go.
Stadium.
there we go. It's in
The
Murfreesboro.
fun thing about having something named College Stadium is I can't even Google it and get a result. It's
Yep.
terrible SEO on the part of whoever named that place.
This is what happens when we let Jordan make the list. Okay, so we are still... Do we want to keep Goodyear and do we want to keep it in Arlington?
We can get rid of Goodyear. I like the
Okay.
blimp, but it just doesn't fit Cotton.
No.
I'm not a big fan of Arlington. We can move
We
that.
can move that
Yeah.
too. I mean,
All right.
All right, so replacing Goodyear with number 84.
Sponsors.
New era. No, the
All
pinstripe
right.
roll has gone down.
the new era Cotton Bowl. They have cotton uniforms, like George suggested in that Seinfeld episode.
They can give out scarves like they did it when it was the Pinstripe Bowl.
Perfect.
And it is moving to Carbondale, Illinois.
We've already had that,
Beautiful.
but
I can
Okay.
move it to a different
we
place.
had the,
Orlando has multiple bowl games. I see no problem with this.
the Cotton Bowl in Carbondale. Okay. Is that where Southern
Okay.
Illinois is?
I think so.
It feels right.
The Salukis?
Carbondale, Illinois is, yes, within the Southern Illinois
Southern.
region and formerly known as Little Egypt.
Okay.
My favorite weird dogs.
They're very good weird
All right.
dogs.
We got two bowls in Carbondale. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 2 bowls in Carbondale so far.
So far.
That's true.
So far, that's true.
All right.
My glass is half full of Saluki.
It does kind of sound like a beverage.
It does.
We are now on to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This is Ole Miss Penn State on Saturday, 12:30 at noon, which is interesting noon Eastern, 11 a.m. God's time, which is interesting. When I attended the Peach Bowl, it was also on 12:30, but it was not the noon game. So,
You're putting Lane with James Franklin, huh? We decided this was a good idea.
This game is going to get fighty in the way that bowl games sometimes do, where there's no reason for the teams to get fighty, except for the reasons that they do. Like, it's not a rivalry. It's just like, oh man, I hate this. Like, it's just going to be that the whole time.
I mean, I don't have any thoughts on this game.
I don't know. Like, Chick-fil-A doesn't necessarily go peach, and then, you're just going to get nothing but, Chick-fil-A commercials throughout the game if we don't change the sponsor. And then you're going to have that person singing, go pimento, go cheese. Go pimento, go cheese.
Okay, yeah, based off that ad, we can change it.
Yeah.
Honestly, my thing with a bowl sponsor, like this is like I already see their ads. Like I like the both sponsors where it's like the only place I'm seeing these ads is during this bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not seeing ads for Soylent anywhere other than the bowl game that's sponsored by Soylent.
That's true.
Like I want a sponsor that you got to look up, you got to Google.
Yeah, I would also like to roll with a
congratulations.
sponsor here.
We are now about to have the ConAgra Foods Peach Bowl.
Perfect.
Okay, ConAgra Foods Peach Bowl, and the
Well, maybe
Mercedes
it's still the
Benz.
Peach Bowl.
We're gonna.
Is it still the Peach Bowl?
I think it should stay the Peach Bowl.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it should be in Georgia though.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Are we?
with that.
Are we? Can we keep the venue? Mercedes Benz is nice, and the concessions are reasonably priced.
Okay, yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
that.
and people say
Does
the
Penn
roof
State
looks
deserve
like
that?
a butthole for a robot.
Okay, that's a very good point.
Yes, definitely. Penn State deserves that.
Eh.
The robotic.
They do deserve the robo butthole. Yes.
And they're really going to enjoy visiting it in Limerick, Ireland.
Oh damn.
Georgia's like, hey.
Ireland has never seen peaches before. Do they have peaches in Ireland? That's the general question.
I'm sure they get them imported. I would be surprised if they grew there. It's a little cool.
Between the name the Peach Bowl and the fact that it's in the robot butthole of Mercedes-Benz, is this our most anal bowl game?
We've got another ass bowl.
If only Notre Dame was in it, but
Well,
I'm trying to hold a straight face. It's tough. Built to last,
Okay.
never last.
All right. Before we fall so far down this rabbit hole that I can't rescue us, also on 12:30 at 1 p.m. Central on ABC, we have the Transperfect Music City Bowl in Nashville in, I assume, the Titans Stadium.
Is that Nissan Stadium?
Yeah,
It's definitely not in Vandy's under construction stadium. Although I would like
It
that.
was.
I would like that.
To be fair, the Titans are building a completely new stadium, so they get. I respect Vanderbilt more for renovating their current stadium than the Titans for building a new one.
And the Titans are building something that's just, it looks like a city block or something like that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing, right? It's renderings, and like when you put renderings out, like you can just draw shit. It doesn't have to like
Just
add up.
Draw that shit. That's
No,
what my
I'm
architect
serious,
friend
like,
says.
Yeah.
Just
See,
draw shit.
also Neom.
Well, no, I remember someone was making, because there was the news, which by the way I think is a real bummer, that they're planning on moving the Capitals and the Wizards out of DC, and they were showing like renderings, and then someone responded with renderings from what the football team, like they had a rendering with like people surfing at their stadium or something, and it's like, yeah, like we're never building this shit, like we just drew it. And there's so many stadiums. It's like stadiums are especially a thing in this grift where it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna have like trees and glass and plazas and like, no.
even though we all knew the right solution here was just to fix up RFK instead.
But what I'm saying just is that like renderings are just like a sales pitch, and like, yeah, it's not gonna look like that when they finish it.
Yeah. Leave the Wizards and the Caps where they are. Being able to conquer the museum steps after the game is cool, and you can't do that at the ass end of the red line, guys.
Well, at least we're not waiting for them to finish the goddamn purple line.
It's true. It's very true.
Come at me, DC Metro. Fewer fires this year, I hear.
DC Metro are actually pretty good, though.
Yeah, pretty good when not on fire.
Yeah.
True.
Aren't we all pretty good when we're not on fire? Worth noting also, because I think I forgot to mention this, the Transperfect Music City Bowl. This is Auburn, Maryland, which is just like funny.
Oh
to
boy.
Me. There's something inherently comical about this matchup for me personally. As someone who was raised Auburn in central Pennsylvania and knows like 2 Maryland fans.
Something that I want out of Auburn in their bowl game matchups, and I've been thinking about this for a while, is I want them to subsume the other team's mascot and add them to the Auburn menagerie if they win the game.
Oh, we got to do
So
that.
they got the War Eagle Tiger Turtle.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's put that on the vision board too.
Okay, I'll put that on the
anytime
vision board because
Auburn,
I very much want that.
anytime Auburn defeats your team, they get to add your mascot as one of theirs. So they start with
to the
3.
Auburn Zoo.
They start with 3, and then they could add a Terrapin, the Terps, the Auburn Terps.
If it's a tie, they can keep them or they can trade them out.
Yes.
I'm sure someone has already done this, but you are now giving me, like, I'm envisioning Aubie Griffin.
Aubie Griffin.
Aubie Griffin.
Except it's half eagle and half testudo. This is very good. I enjoy this.
Done.
I also, while we were talking about transit, I hastily Googled TransPerfect. TransPerfect is language and technology solutions for business. So they're a translation and interpretation company.
Sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
I like
actually
the
pretty
name.
good.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I like the name
Not
because
evil.
I like the name because it'll probably bother Hugh Freeze a little bit.
This is an excellent point. We're keeping
That's
it.
a
We'll leave
good
that
point.
there.
Yeah. And trans people are perfect.
It is funny that like it's the Music City Bowl, and I'm not really sure. Like, I would like to see kind of what the bowl game events are for this, because like there are some cities you go to for these bowl games, and it's like, yeah, like you know exactly what they're doing because that's what you do in that place, and like Nashville's one of those cities, except that stuff is not stuff you would probably take 18 to 22-year-olds to do.
You mean we're not going to take them all on pedal pubs?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So I went to the 2000 Music City Bowl and I saw Eli Manning and Deuce McAllister, and it was a delight. And the bowl game activities we took part in were a battle of the bands that happened outside of the old Opry, and we went to the new Opry, which was very new at the time. And like that was just one of the activities that you went and did. And it was a particularly rowdy night because the Ole Miss fans and the West Virginia fans just kind of started yelling at each other during the broadcast. Anyway, it was a great time, and I saw In Brewers New Groove that week.
Beth, I am pleased to inform you that the Battle of the Bands still exists. It is on Friday at 6 p.m. Central on Broadway, and it is free to the public, folks.
It's a blast. You should go.
There's also a pregame tailgate party, and that is the end of the list of the 2022. Or this is last year, so
Oh no,
sorry. This is last year's list of things, but that is the end of the list of the things for the bowl game events.
So if we change the city for this bowl, does that mean that we are dubbing a new city as Music City?
Ooh,
Yeah, let's do it.
yes,
Like
let's
we're
do it.
naming a new Music City?
New Music City.
I would also like to get them out of the Titan Stadium because there's nothing particularly interesting about it.
Fine with that.
And I will add too, if we're making a new Music City, they will also get the IndyCar race, the Music City Grand Prix.
Okay.
It can't be worse than the races they've been having in Nashville.
Congratulations to Osaka, Japan.
All right.
Hell yeah.
The new Music City.
All right. Osaka, Japan.
We are moving it to... No, we already had that one today. Taft Stadium.
Okay. Do we know where Taft Stadium is?
Oh, it's a cute little stadium.
It's-
It was built as part of the WPA, and it's in Oklahoma City.
Oh, perfect.
It is the
Adorable.
current home to a couple of high school teams. Northwest Classen High School, John Marshall High School, Classen School of Advanced Studies, and Oklahoma Centennial High School, as well as the Oklahoma City Energy FC.
Nice.
Perfect. Excellent.
The seating capacity was recently reduced to 7,500.
This is what the rendering of it is supposed to look like once they do the upgrades.
Whoa.
Just draw some stuff, right?
That is a Tron-ass stadium.
Draw some stuff.
Oh man, somebody really did just draw some stuff.
I know.
They drew some goddamn stuff.
I love the overhang stuff. It's great.
How do those even
It looks
work?
like it's supposed to like slide out further over the field
know it
too.
does.
I don't think it is, but that's what it looks like.
It's great. It's
Please keep the current soccer field dimensions.
just done. It's all sunsetter
Beautiful.
retractable awnings up top.
Why haven't they sponsored a
I
bowl
don't
game?
know,
That is
man.
a very bowl game sponsor business.
Even Magic Jack sponsored a bowl game. Come on,
Come
guys.
on, Sunsetter.
Sure. We are moving on, still on 12:30. This one's at 3 p.m. on ESPN. The Capital One Orange Bowl. This is Georgia, Florida State.
Just the Spite Bowl.
This is We Have a Lot of Feelings Bowl. And somehow Florida State remains sympathetic, which is weird, even though they're out here doing the whole like, we're gonna leave the ACC, we're gonna get involved with venture capital and like sovereign investment funds to get out of the ACC. Sure, Jan.
I mean, I think this is going to be a good bowl game when the number one thing I've heard people saying about the bowl game is like, oh, are they going to boycott? They should boycott.
Oh, was a good start.
Yeah.
The rest of the ACC is going to boycott in solidarity.
There was like half a second where I thought that was what was going on Bull Pick Sunday because I was mostly away from my phone. And all I saw when I opened Twitter was no one can get a hold of the ACC.
But that was due to the drawing the Sun Bowl out of a hat instead.
I think we should do that every year.
Perfect. Draw the Sun Bowl out of a hat.
Well, so the question is Capital One sufficiently spiteful for this game?
No.
New sponsor.
Our new sponsor is Tail Greeter. What is Tail Greeter?
This is perfect.
Oh, I know this.
Okay.
I know this. Tail Greeter was I don't know if they're still around.
We talked
They
about them last year, I
sponsored
think.
the Birmingham Bowl, I think last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically, I think it was like Airbnb but for tailgates.
Yes.
Ah.
So
Yes.
imagine
Okay.
you're having a tailgate. You want to make a little extra money, sell some spots at your tailgate. So like you sell it and then people have tickets to come tailgate with you.
Yes.
And I guess you like provide the food, the entertainment, whatever. Honestly, that feels like it's made for me to do for a little bit and get terrible ratings and not do it again.
Yeah, you know what? I actually don't like 100% hate that as like a weird startup. As a person who occasionally goes to like random ass football games and is like, it would be cool to be able to go to a tailgate, but I don't know anyone here.
True.
So
I'm gonna look them up. I'm gonna see if they're still around.
it appears
join.
that they are. I just Googled them and their website comes up.
You could join
Okay,
the Swoopin' D tailgate at Thunder Alley for the San Diego Chargers, starting from $45.
Browse tailgates.
Swoopin' D.
Okay, so are we staying the Orange Bowl? Are we staying in Miami? Are we staying in Hard Rock?
Orange has got to stay. I feel like I can't like change the tradition. It hurts to do that.
Okay.
Miami still fits for me.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with
Maybe
that.
a new stadium
I-
in Miami. Hard Rock is
They should
nice.
play it at Marlins Park.
Done. We don't have to
Bring
roll.
back
Done.
the original Orange Bowl.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, okay.
looking at Tailgater right now. I don't see any tailgates for the Orange Bowl. They have the 68 Ventures Bowl, the Military Bowl, the Cotton Bowl. They have two tailgates for the Cotton Bowl. They have one for the Music City Bowl and one for the Sugar Bowl. So that's it.
But there's one for the Military Bowl. Interesting.
Yep.
I assume that there's none for the Duke's Mayo Bowl because of the abysmal parking situation at Bank of America.
Starting at $8.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a steal.
That is a steal.
None for the Alamo Bowl. Huh. Okay.
Oh, it looks like this one's actually at a bar.
Okay, no, this
Interesting.
is whoa, hang on. So $95. The basic adult ticket includes all you can drink Bud Light draft and brunch. But if you go up to $125 for the premium adult ticket, you add on bottomless Bloody Mary bar and mimosas. So
Oh
I
boy.
mean, I don't even really know if I want to meet someone that would pay for and attend an all-you-can-drink Bud Light event. But if you want to, Tailgreeter can get you there for $95.
This is misleading. The $8 is
Annapolis.
one additional drink ticket.
And what game is this blessed event attached to?
The Military Bowl.
The Military Bowl.
So the troops can pay $95 for all you can drink Bud Light.
So you can just slam mimosas all morning and then go support the troops.
America.
We really are the greatest country.
Truly. Okay, so we have settled on.
Now I'm just trying to do the math for how many Bud Lights you'd have to drink to make that.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper to just drink Bud Light. Probably.
Yeah, even like in a stadium, I feel like in a stadium, right? Like, even like a 24 ounce of Bud Light. Let's say that's like $15.
Yeah.
You would have to drink what, like 6 of those to cover that,
those,
which is like drinking a whole 12 pack of beer because those like the tall boys. So.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of some friends of mine who bought the unlimited drink package on the cruise that they went on the Christmas cruise a couple of years ago. And these people, like, one of them is a teetotaler. And when you do this, you have to like get the drink package for your whole stateroom because of the way that food and drinks work on a cruise ship. And so 2 of them were going to have to do the drinking for 3 of them.
Oh.
And this was during a period in their lives whenever they're like, well, we got to make this thing count. And I guess they spent, like, 2 of them spent 4 days completely white girl wasted on this cruise to the point where they didn't remember several islands. So, I don't know. Unlimited drink tickets, like, do your math on the front side, maybe.
Okay.
Still a more memorable cruise than the movie Speed 2 Cruise Control, though. So there you go.
That's fair.
Moving onward in bowl season.
Don't let the boat drop below 10 knots.
We have one that is not on ESPN, folks.
Ooh.
What?
We have the Arizona Bowl, sponsored by, unfortunately, the furniture company. This features Toledo versus Wyoming, and it's on the CW!
Yeah.
Which means it's going to get weird.
Well, no. So here's the thing, right? I don't think the CW is the one, like, actually producing this game. So I don't think you'll see like so basically the thing with this bowl game, the Arizona Bowl, now that they're the Barstool Bowl, is that they have Barstool personalities on the call. Like, they don't have play-by-play or like, I mean, I guess everyone on the call is color, but it's all just like Barstool people doing bits. Like, that's the only broadcast of this game.
Gross. It's
so
like
that's
getting
what
only
that's
the
what will
McAfee.
Be on the CW.
It's like getting only the McAfee coverage, but worse.
Just mute it and put on the radio.
Yep. Official recommendation of the Sickos Committee. So obviously we want to roll for sponsor here.
Yep.
Yeah, new sponsor.
Our new sponsor is Marmot.
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 Marmot. What number is this?
It's 72.
72. Mammoth. I have no idea what that is.
I typed in Marmot the way she said it, and it says there was a town in West Virginia. It's called Marmot, West Virginia.
I searched MAMOT, and it gave me mammoths.
We're going with that. Like, there was an Elk Grove Village sponsor. Now it's sponsored by the town of Marmot, West Virginia.
Perfect.
Marmot.
The population is 1,500.
They got this.
The population
They're good for
is
it.
1,500, and they are now the sponsor of the bowl game.
Are already improved, and they will be providing all of the commentary, including all of the color commentary on the CW.
CW.
So, Marmot, West Virginia, Arizona Bowl, and I assume this is in the Phoenix area. I haven't actually.
It's normally in the fish tank.
No,
Arizona
it's the
Stadium.
Yep, it's
In
Arizona
Tucson.
Stadium.
Oh, okay, it's in the fish tank. Okay, so Are we keeping it in Tucson? Are we keeping it in the fish tank? Or
we could keep
yeah,
we could keep it in the fish tank, I guess. Let's get it out of. It's the Arizona Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's get it out of Tucson.
Okay.
Let's just make that weird.
Ooh, Yokohama, Japan.
Okay.
I'm rolling heavily international in this random number generator.
Straight internet. So
I put a number of things in Japan today.
It's the Marmot, West Virginia, Arizona Bowl in the Arizona Stadium.
Yes, in the fish tank.
In the fish tank. In Yokohama, Japan.
Yes.
That makes sense. Let's do it.
Okay.
It's a well-traveled bowl game.
It's got so many stamps on its passport. The ReliaQuest Bowl. This is Wisconsin versus LSU on New Year's Day. We are into the New Year's Day bowls,
We've
and
done it. It's next year.
Can we just
and no New Year's Eve bowls this
can
year.
we just
which,
make this the Outback Bowl again?
please?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, done.
Yes.
But we need a sponsor. So it's gonna be something Outback Bowl.
The name is Outback. It's not the sponsor,
Okay.
but we still bring out the
Yes, the coconut,
bloomin' onion suit
the
and the
coconut shrimp,
suit.
and the bloomin' onion. I want to undo an injustice in this bowl game too. So the SEC team would always be stuck with the bloomin' onion if they won, and the Big Ten team would always be stuck with the coconut shrimp, and both of them did not want each one of those. They'd rather the other, I believe. Like the Big Ten folks wanted the bloomin' onion, and the SEC folks wanted the coconut shrimp because they live closer to the seafood, I guess. So just flip that. So again, let's the Big Ten folks. If they win the game, they get a bloomin' onion.
So the sponsor that the random number generator has gifted to us is Udrove. Udrove?
Who drove?
It is a truck stop company.
Okay,
Perfect.
Well, that sounds legit.
can you spell it?
It also definitely doesn't exist anymore.
What is it?
That's fine.
It was last sponsoring the 2010 Humanitarian Bowl. You drove.
Small U, big
Small
D.
U. Big drove.
Are we? Yeah, that's a very good bowl sponsor. So we've got the U Drove Outback Bowl in Tampa, in Raymond James, or in somewhere in other stadium. I do like the pirate ship. I'm very pro Raymond James for that reason.
Yep.
I don't know. Tampa feels right here.
Okay.
This feels Tampa.
Okay.
This game is Tampa as hell.
Sounds good.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right. We are moving on to the VRBO Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. This game features versus Oregon at noon Central on ESPN.
Noon?
Noon Eastern. Or, I'm sorry, noon Central.
So 11
Yeah,
a.m.?
so I think this is 11 a.m. local.
Oy.
That's the price for being on New Year's Day because
Oh, the Rose
they
Bowl.
couldn't go today because there's the Rose Bowl. I will say I believe that Bob Wischusen and RG3 are the ones calling this game.
Oh, fun.
So that is something to look forward to. Something I will be tuning in for. And yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say about this other than, go Ducks.
Yeah, let's fucking go Ducks. Bo Nix, I believe, is opting out of this game, but, secure the bag. And I'm sure whoever Oregon's backup is more than adequate for this purpose. So, go Ducks.
Quack, quack.
Okay. Are we? I would like to unilaterally change this back to Tostitos.
Done.
Fine. Done.
Okay.
Tostitos Fiesta. You've
It
been
was better that way.
done. We don't need to spin for that. Are we okay with the weird Scottsdale Stadium? The
Your
toaster?
Glendale or wherever it is. Yeah,
Glendale.
that's fine.
I do. The only place I would rather put it in the Phoenix metro area is in Arizona State's hockey arena.
Done.
Done. It's fine.
Don't ask me the logistics.
It'll fit.
Figure it out.
It'll fit. If it fits, it
We're
ships.
just we'll get a shrink ray and we'll shrink everyone down,
Yes.
and it's just perfectly to scale.
Honey, I Shrunk the Bowl game.
Either that or just kind of shift it over a state and put it in the pit. That'd be great.
In Arizona State's hockey arena in Glendale. We're moving the hockey arena.
Yep. We have improved this game
Perfect.
immeasurably.
Beautiful. Done. Okay. All right. Also on 1/1 at noon, because it is New Year's Day and there are a lot of things on, we have Iowa and Tennessee in the Clash of the Styles in the Citrus Bowl at noon on ABC. And I have to check who the Citrus Bowl sponsor is now because I can't remember anything. This is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Cheez-It.
Yes. We
Ched
can't.
We
We
can't
can't
change
take
it.
away.
We can't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry. I'm fine with everything associated with this, honestly.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want. I don't know. The Citrus Bowl in
Camping
Orlando.
World is kind of mid as a stadium.
Yeah.
It is. In fact, I would argue that it is low mid, having been there.
I mean, if you want to change the stadium, you can do that. I'm fine with it in Orlando, though.
Orlando. Okay.
Yeah, let's get a new stadium. Why not?
Ooh, 3.
Tres.
The Alamo Dome.
Perfect. We have moved the
Whee!
Alamo Dome to Florida.
The Alamo Dome has been replicated just like the movie Contact, where they had a whole nother thing all the way across the world. It was the Alamo Dome, ready to go. It's in Orlando. Remember the Alamo Dome in Orlando.
All right.
Just
Now,
stuck in my head the rest of the night.
yeah, same. All right. Now we have the Rose Bowl. This is now sponsored by Prudential Financial.
Of course
It
is.
feels
Or
like
pre-
it's
yeah,
like the Rose Bowl has like
presented
a
by
golf
Prudential
sponsor.
Financial. I mean,
I
That
can't-
feels
that's-
right for the Roast Bowl.
It
that's,
does.
yeah, that's
Can't-
perfect for the Rose Bowl.
See, this game, I think it's almost funnier if we just change everything about this game like it completely sold out.
Yes,
Mm,
totally.
mhm.
Like they
Like there's
finally,
nothing,
like
nothing remains.
like their tradition. The people that held their tradition, they're just like, no, we're just selling it for parts. The Rose Bowl,
Yep.
done. Let's go.
Sold for
New
scrap iron.
sponsor.
For the listeners, the Rose Bowl this year is Alabama, Michigan,
Yeah,
and it is at 4 p.m. This is a
whatever.
playoff game this
Sure.
year.
It's fine. I'm sure that'll be
Not
fun.
familiar with it.
Yeah, what
What-
playoff? We got the FCS playoffs.
Playoffs. Playoffs.
The new sponsor, nope, we've already used that one, is Jimmy Kimmel.
The Jimmy Kimmel Rose Bowl.
Well,
Okay.
are we keeping it the Rose Bowl?
I think for maximum sellout value, you have to keep the name the Rose
Okay.
Bowl.
Okay.
New
And
stadium.
you're selling the name
Yes.
Oh,
to a
absolutely.
new stadium and new city.
The Jimmy Kimmel Rose Bowl. Will Jimmy
Which
Kimmel
will
be there?
now, henceforth and forever, be played in Honolulu Stadium,
Nice.
Okay.
which, for the purposes of this exercise, we will be moving to Shanghai, China. Oh my god!
You know how we joked that the Pinstripe Bowl is
Such
the
a-
Rose Bowl of the East? This one is now the Rose
Yeah.
Bowl of the Far East.
Oh god, this is
Man,
perfect.
foreign investment comes for us all.
For it, I
We
mean-
We're
win
gonna
Rose
get
Bowl.
the angriest cease and desist
They
letters.
They have sold out to China. Jimmy Kimmel Rose Bowl.
Noted shill for Xi Jinping.
What? Okay. What time would the game kick off in Shanghai?
In China,
If it were still at like
4
4 p.m.
Central.
Central. There's like an international dateline in there too.
Yeah,
4
times up.
p.m. Central in Shanghai. It would be 6 a.m. the next day.
Perfect. You can get to see the sunrise instead of the sunset.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Rising sun.
Now
That is-
Japan's
that is-
angry.
I know.
One thing I like about the Rose Bowl is taking pictures of sunsets at other sporting events and posting them with the caption like, "Oh, this is the best sunset in sports."
This is just like the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl is now no longer on New Year's Day.
It's on the
We've
second.
moved the Rose Bowl to January 2nd forever.
They have sold out. Everything about the game has been sold. They've lost their.
Don't worry, we're going to move the parade too.
Oh,
It's in the middle of the
roll
night
for
now.
the parade. Where's the parade at?
I'm rolling.
Roll for the
Oh,
parade.
The parade. Yeah, the parade shouldn't be in the same place. The parade is moving to Carbondale, Illinois.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, and this is our last bowl game, not counting the national championship game. That is the All-State Sugar Bowl. It is still All-State, right? The Sugar Bowl is still in good hands.
Yeah.
I want it to be.
maybe.
Sugar Bowl. I'm so good at remembering things, guys. It is still the All-State Sugar Bowl. It is still in good hands. And the Sugar Bowl, friends, is featuring Texas and Washington. This is another playoff game. So do with that information what you will, because we will not expound upon it. 7:45 p.m. on ESPN.
Or the next day in China.
Yes. How do we feel about the Allstate Sugar Bowl in the Superdome in New Orleans?
I mean, I think we can get a new sponsor,
Yeah.
but I like everything else.
Okay.
Can we just call it the Sugar Dome still? Like, I know
Yes,
Jordan made that mistake.
in the Sugar Dome.
It's the Sugar Dome. The Caesar Sugar Dome.
Ooh, the sex number. Nope, that's Magic Jack. We've already done that one.
Magic Jack's the sex number.
Yeah.
They're expanding into
PlayStation
vibrators.
2.
PlayStation 2?
Yes.
The PlayStation 2 Sugar Bowl.
In the Sugar Dome.
In the Sugar Dome.
It's not sponsored by the concept of the PlayStation 2. It's sponsored by my specific PlayStation 2.
Beth's PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Beth's PlayStation
That's
2
cool.
Sugar Bowl in the Sugar Dome in New Orleans.
That's it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, folks. Well, I think that's about it for tonight. Or Arthur, do you want to do the thing?
Yeah. I have one
Okay.
last. I've been throwing this in the show notes every episode, and I just say, well, I'm just gonna keep throwing them until we have time at the end to get to it. And the Detroit Pistons keep losing, so I don't really have to worry about like, oh, is this bit not going to be current? Like, no, they'll still be losing. So yeah, my question is, what do Nebraska, Minnesota, Air Force, Nevada, and USC all have in common? I'll tell you what they have in common. Their last win came on October 28th, which gives them something in
Oh my
common
god.
with the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons have now set a new franchise record for consecutive losses. As of this recording, they have lost their last 24 games.
Oh, no.
What's kind of even like it, we've seen really bad tanking in the NBA before. That's not what the Pistons were trying to do this year.
No.
Like, this is year 4 of the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're
They
not
were
trusting the
supposed to be-
process.
They were supposed to be making progress. They won 2 of their first 3 games, and people were saying, like, maybe this is the year they take a step. And since then, they've lost 24 in a row. I'm like, people are looking at their schedules now, trying to figure out when their best chance at getting a win in the month of December is, since they did not get a win in the month of November.
And there's not that much month of December left, kids.
No.
There is not.
Happy
honestly,
solstice, by the by.
I think if they are going to win in the month of December, their best shot is Thursday, which is, I guess, today now in East Coast time.
Yeah.
And whenever you're listening to this, maybe they will have already won. They're hosting the Jazz. The Jazz are only 1.5 point favorites, and that game is in Detroit. So that's like their shot to win a game in the month of December. They were really bad towards the end of last season as well. There is a shot if they don't, improve a lot, win a couple games here in the rest of December, that they could win fewer games in 2023, like in the calendar year, than Michigan, the football team, which is, playing a completely different sport with far fewer games. Like I said, we've seen some really bad tanking in the NBA before, but this Pistons team feels special because they're not supposed to be this bad, and they are.
So you're saying that today's broadcast on Cages is must consume.
Yes. I'm going to try to get this podcast out earlier tomorrow so that more people have a chance to kind of be aware of this. By the way, this game, if you're not in the Utah or the Detroit market area, you can get this on League Pass, which is what my plans are for tomorrow night, or I guess tonight now that it's Thursday, and hopefully this comes out on Thursday. But yeah, that's what I needed to let people know about. Detroit, by the way, they were our number 1 NBA team in the Sickos poll that we did, beating out the Wizards. The Wizards have been a little disappointing to me, because they've also been bad, but they haven't. They've had some really goofy moments, but they haven't had quite as many goofy moments as I would expect a team with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma to have. This Pistons team is really taking the cake, though. I mean, it's. I am like legit riveted tuning into their games. They had a game earlier this week against the Hawks where like they were only down by 6 late in the game, and like I was rushing to get my league pass up, seeing like, oh, could they do it? They couldn't, but I'm having way more fun watching them than I am, figuring out who's good in the NBA this year.
All basketball is good basketball. One quick note also that I forgot to mention, for those of you who are interested in watching football in a movie theater, that is an option via the Theater Sports Network. You can watch the Sugar Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl, and the national championship game.
Yes,
on big screens at a theater near you.
Well, some theaters. I was I was looking at this way back like months ago when they were talking about getting ACC games in theaters. Mm-hmm. I signed up for like their mailing list, but I never heard from them. And I was like going through my tabs, and I found like the old tab I had open for them, and they had like bowl games, and apparently they are actually getting bowl games in the theater. So I didn't hear from them about seeing ACC football in a theater, but there are specific locations that will have bowl games. You have to go to their website, and if you click like find like the theaters for the bowl games, it's literally a Google sheet that they have with all the information. I will say, if you are in either San Antonio or Dallas, there are theaters in both of those places that are showing like pretty much all the New Year's Six bowls. Outside of a few locations, though, it's really kind of restricted to theaters in like home markets for teams, right? So, like for example, there are, if we look at say the Orange Bowl, there's going to be a lot of theaters in Florida and a lot of theaters
San
in
Antonio.
Georgia.
He did.
Yeah,
and Dallas.
So the San Antonio, it's called, it's listed on here as Shirts, SCHERTZ.
That's clear across the city for me. But yeah.
All right. Well, you can go there for, I think, every New Year's Six game. It looks like they have the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl.
That may be a fun thing to try. I don't know.
The Orange Bowl. Yeah, I think they have them all. And they actually, if I'm looking on here, oh boy. Okay. Couple other bowl games that they list as having at that theater: the First Responders Bowl, the Texas Bowl, and of course the Fenway Bowl. I'm assuming because of either Texas teams or Texas connections there. So if you want to watch the Fenway Bowl at what would be 10 a.m. Central Time in a theater, you can go do that.
Oh, a movie matinee of SMU in BC. Oh my God.
Well, folks.
Yes.
With that critically important information.
Oh yeah.
I think we're done with the show for tonight. But we do want to wish you a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and a very happy bowl season regardless. And we will be back with you after the holidays.
Built to last, dura last. The hotter the hot.
The colder the cold.
What if Heat Miser, Snow Miser, but Duralast ad?